I don't care how good your lead funnels are, your marketing funnels. That's not what makes your business succeed. Seriously, that's my actual belief, is if you want to build a really good business, a successful business, it starts with selling, right? You can build a six-figure business, like a multi-six-figure business, without a good website and without a good brand.
This is the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast for entrepreneurs and business owners looking for cool online tools, apps and strategies to make business easy online. My name is Nick Cree and I'm your host. Each episode features a guest expert demystifying the online universe, sharing inspirational ideas and providing tested real-world strategies to help you get the most of what's available online to grow your business today. Don't be a slave to your business, get your business working for you. Subscribe now and get some great content and ideas for you and your business today. Okay, so at this point in the proceedings, I would like to introduce our guest speaker for tonight. So our guest speaker is Andrew Cominos. He is known as the results guy. He is a sales coach, sales trainer, and helps small, medium businesses, in fact some large businesses, with their sales processes and sales strategies. I don't know anyone who hasn't worked with Andrew that have not improved their business. He's got some magical touch which makes it happen. He, just as a bit of background, he's come from the corporate world, used to work for Godfrey's, so if you've ever bought a vacuum cleaner, it's quite likely you might have bought one from this guy here. But he was successful at selling vacuum cleaners. He was promoted into a sales trainer for the good guys and kept on going up the ranks and ended up as the global sales trainer for Godfrey's. So he left that and he's now consulting to business and teaching them, what he was teaching all of the salespeople in Godfrey's and in fact the Godfrey's management as well. So put your hands together and let's welcome Andrew Cominos.
Thanks, mate. For someone who apparently spends more time with me than my wife, I feel like you don't actually know what I did in my career very well.
Yeah, no idea.
Hey guys, how are we going? My name's Andrew Cominos. I do have a couple of slides for you and a bit of a presentation tonight. But before we kick in, I thought I'd tell you, one, a little bit about me, and two, a little bit about what I'm going to talk about. The slides for me tonight are just background noise, and there's only a couple of them. So most of how I like to present is, firstly, I'll teach you some stuff, and then I like to be thrown to the hounds, as I call it, where you guys can ask me as many questions as you want, anything you need solved in your business, and I will go and do it, if that's all right, Nick.
That is perfect.
Sweet. All right. So guys, my name's Andrew Cominos. I am the results guy. The reason I call myself, and other people call me, they used to call me the sales superhero, but that was really tacky. I didn't like it. So I've changed it. I'm like, nah, I'm the results guy. Why? Because it doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter who you go to. Typically people want to offer you a course, or they want to offer you a product, or they want, if you're talking about business coaches or sales coaches or online marketing courses or any of that stuff, there's a course involved. And that course gives you tools to possibly succeed. My job, right, whenever someone comes and works with me, I get results, physical dollars in their account, physical growth in their business. That's what I aim for. That's all I care about, is your results and how to grow that business. Hence the name, the results guy. I'm a sales and performance strategist. So I work on your business and to increase your sales, and I work on your mindset to increase your performance. Because here's the thing, you cannot sell without a performance mindset. Sales is the sport of business, right? If there's anything in business that you could relate to sport, it's sales. Why? Because if you're not performing at 100% capacity every time you walk into a sale, if you're not performing at 100% capacity every time you decide to present to a group of people or go one-to-many, right? It doesn't matter how you look at it, you're not going to succeed. It's about that 100% performance. But on the other side of things, it's about then actively doing it. You see, the biggest thing that I've found in sales over the course of my career, which was not just sucking at Godfrey's, there was more to it than that, Leslie. Right? So, what I found over, many years of, being a salesperson, researching sales, training, running multi-million dollar corporations, director of sales, the national sales manager, national sales trainer. In a lot of cases, what I found was the one thing that is a consistent is that the majority of people are terrified of selling. And the reason they're terrified of selling is because they don't understand it. Now, a lot of people, on the other hand, also think they should be good at selling naturally, right? Particularly business owners. This is the big one, is business owners have this idea that they never need to learn anything about sales because I'm supposed to already be good at it. And if I'm not already good at it, then why am I in business? I can't possibly be in business and not be good at selling. This is untrue. It's completely untrue. And it's actually, to be honest, quite ridiculous, right? Because it's not what it is at all. So then what I do is I take people and I move that mindset, shift that mindset, and help them to perform and learn how to actually be comfortable in selling. See, I have a belief system. Everyone has. Jenny, you've gone into the depths of the world just there. I'm just noticing on your screen. You've just disappeared, right? So, what I've noticed over time, and this is something that I've been saying very recently, is that I don't care how good your website is. I don't care how good your brand is. I don't care how good your lead funnels are, your marketing funnels. That's not what makes your business succeed. Seriously, that's my actual belief, is if you want to build a really good business, a successful business, it starts with selling, right? You can build a six-figure business, like a multi-six-figure business, without a good website and without a good brand. Let me tell you something. When I met Nick, I had a six-figure business, and how was my website, Nick?
It was not great.
A piece of shit is what you wanted to say. Right? It was garbage. Because the truth is, you don't need a brilliant brand and a brilliant website to really build your business to a six-figure model. But what if you had a brilliant website, you had a brilliant brand, and then you also had a six-figure sales process to go with it, or a six-figure sales game to go with it? Does anyone think that that would take your business into the stratosphere, move it to the next level? Possibly? Yeah, probably, right? Because it's not about the brand, and it's not about it's not about the brand, it's not about the website as much as it is about you being willing to actually do what is necessary to get yourself out there and sell. In this day and age, a lot of that initial part of your sales process is, getting yourself out there organically on social media. They used to say that 90% of all business was done online, right, for the last few years. Does anyone know where 95% of that 90% is done in this day and age? Social media, right? Google's great, don't get me wrong, right? But social media, that's where everyone is. Right? Facebook is one of the biggest earning tools on the planet at the moment. Next to, and then there's LinkedIn next to that. TikTok, right? Do you know there are people earning millions of dollars with ads on TikTok? Millions. It's insane, right? So that's utilizing the things that utilizing social media. Now, if you want to utilize social media, talk to the guy down below me, Adrian. He's got this really cool video app, which, if you're scared of doing videos and you don't know how to make them professional, a guy like that has apps that do it for you to make it easy, right? But if you're not getting out there, if you're not making the move towards that and being ridiculous about it, then that makes it really hard for you to succeed. So here's the thing. I've got a few tips and a few strategies. One, about how to have a six-figure sales process. But before that, really quickly, I've got a few tips about what I did when I first started my business that built my six-figure business, but just not including my sales process. When I first started, the very first thing I did was I became the most fucking annoying person you've ever heard of on Facebook. Seriously, I was the most annoying human being. I was live video every morning, live video every night. Actually, I'm probably still the most annoying human being on Facebook. Actually, it's what Leslie's laughing about. I seriously became stupidly annoying. I posted all the time on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. It doesn't matter where I was. My job was to build my name right out there, put my name out there and make sure everyone knew that I was here and that I was the sales guy. Now, here's the thing. I didn't care if I had a good brand or a bad brand. What I cared about is that everyone knew I was there and that I was building my connections. Because the one thing I knew I was good at was talking to people. So if I could just connect with someone, then I knew that I could move them towards my product, right? So that's the first thing, is I didn't hold back. Step one to any growth in your business is don't hold back at all in any way, shape or form. I mean, who here can probably put their hand up and say, you know what, I've probably held back just a little bit in the last, probably most people. Because what's the biggest thing we're worried about? What can anyone say? What's our biggest fear in this modern age? Do you think the most common fear? Rejection. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, rejection. Absolutely. Rejection is our biggest fear. It's actually the biggest fear in sales, but it's also the world's biggest fear at the moment, right? Because we live in a connection economy. Has anyone ever heard that term before? Our economy is built. I can help with that. Thanks, Leslie. Good sales. Right. So, we live in a connection economy, and a connection economy is really simple. It just means that the money in this world moves through connection. That's how it moves in this day and age. It's not just a standard business economy anymore. The more you connect with people, the more you earn. Right. So, because of that, people are afraid of not being liked. Right. The biggest thing when people jump into business is they go, oh, I don't want to post on my personal page all my stuff about my business. I don't want to move forward. I don't want to go hard because I might annoy my friends. Who's thought that before? Put your hand up if you thought that. Yeah, might annoy my friends? Yeah. I thought the same thing. Here's the thing. All your friends, the people that like you, guess what? They give you shit for maybe a couple of months but they get over it and they move on. And if they really don't like it, they stay as your friend and they unfollow you. Fine. Right? But then on the same term, you start adding more and more and more and more and more people, building a network, building a bunch of people, and then you start connecting with those people. Right? And because you're connecting with those people, you suddenly have leads coming in constantly. And you're like, far out, what do I do with all this stuff? Right? But it's that ability to go hard, that ability to put aside, your friends giving you a little bit of crap. Some people will unfriend you, right? But here's the thing. You can either use Facebook as a personal tool and miss out on the 85% of all business that is done on social media. Or you can go, you know what, this is a business tool and I'm just going to utilize that for business. I don't think there is ever a post that I put on Facebook that is just because I personally wanted to put it on there. I don't think it happens, ever. Sometimes I'll post about my kids or my wife or how much I love them, because I'm sharing to the world my message of who's behind me in business, but it also helps people to get closer to me in my life and therefore decide whether they want to work with me. Facebook for me is a business tool. If you're going to hold yourself back from that medium and you're not going to go full blast, then you're going to hold yourself back in business in a dramatic way. So the start of the six-figure sales process, and the reason I start with Facebook is the start of it is don't hold back. The more you hold back, there's no way you're going to get to multi-six-figure or seven-figure. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm going seven figures and I don't give a shit who knows it, right? That's what I'm doing. That's where I'm going. And I'm not going to hold back. And I think anyone who knows me knows I don't hold back. I go mental, and I'm probably the most annoying human being to Nick. Like, I will call him at like 10 o'clock at night and go, I need this done on my website. Please help me now. Well, make it happen. Right? And he's just like, fucking calm down, mate. I'm having dinner. Leave me alone. I just finished work. Right? So, but don't hold back. Make it happen. But the reason my business grew so fast, so quickly is because I don't hold back. So a lot of you probably can look at where your business is right now and look at where you want it to be and go, the reason it's not there is probably because I'm holding back a little. Can anyone honestly say that? Yeah, good. Well, I like those honest hands, slowly coming up from the side down the bottom. So Al, so on my personal Facebook, I mix personal posts and brand promotions, and then on our business Facebook, just brand stuff. And yeah, okay. So on your business Facebook, brand stuff. On your personal Facebook, it's more about being, rather than promotions, it's more about telling a story. It's more about giving value. It's more about delivering content to people, right? So rather than delivering, promotions all the time, right? It's about, okay, what can I deliver to these people that will send a good message to them? What will make people like my business? What will make people like me? What will make people want to follow me? If you look at all the most successful people on the planet, almost every single one, I can tell you right now, right? They all have big followings on Facebook, even if they are not the face of their brand. Even like CEOs of Coca-Cola, they don't own the business, it's Coke, right? But if you go look at the guy who's the CEO, he'll have 5,000 friends, and all you're allowed to have on Facebook is 5,000 friends, right? It's just a really big place to connect, right? Whether it's a referral marketing, whether it's referral partners, whether it's, from just, finding new business, or you never know who's around the corner and you never know who you're connecting with. You might connect with someone like me who doesn't have a multi-million-dollar business, but I might be best friends with someone who does have a multi-million-dollar business that can buy all your products, and I happen to refer you one day, right? We live in a connection economy. And because we live in a connection economy, it's super important for us to connect. But to connect, people don't just connect with anyone. They will be your friend on Facebook, but if you truly want them to connect, or they'll be your friend on LinkedIn, that's great. But if you truly want to connect, they've got to see your value. They've got to see your face all the time. Does that make sense? So it says, got it, bit of a narrative. So what's happening to us in a personal business journey, etc., so they can connect. Exactly right. Yep, bit of a narrative. Absolutely. Give value and give a message. All right. So the question is, though, what can we do to physically increase our sales conversions once we've got those leads, once we've stopped holding back? Well, once you've stopped holding back, the first thing I talk about to people, and I've got it here ready to go, so I can share my screen with you, is, here we go. The first thing is learning how, I can't see anyone's face anymore because I've got you that way. There we go. Now I can see people. The next thing is learning how to ask questions. Guys, the biggest thing that I find in sales today is that people don't freaking know how to ask questions. The majority of people think that they're really good at asking questions. And then I talk to them and find out that they're actually not very good at asking questions. When you are selling, questions are what will give you the ultimate ability to sell well. It is the most important thing in your whole sales process, is learning how to ask questions properly. Because questions deliver the most important factor in any sale. Can anyone come tell me what they think? I'd love a little bit of engagement. What the most important factor to any sales process, to any sale, do you think? What's the most important thing? Rapport? Is it your recommendation? Is it closing the sale? What is it? Anybody?
Understanding what the customer wants, Andrew.
Understanding what the customer wants. Cool.
I'll go with rapport.
Rapport. Anyone else?
First impression.
What did you say, sorry?
First impressions.
First impressions, and then
you're confident, you know what you're doing. You're not umming and ahhing.
Yep.
Making it sound like you don't know what the heck you're saying.
Yep, cool. Awesome. Stephen, did you say something?
Yeah, relationship.
Relationships.
The bond.
And guys, great answers. Everyone had good answers, and they are all extremely important factors. But from someone who has studied this to the nth degree, I can tell you none of those is the most important thing. The single most important part of selling is control. Controlling the conversation. Because I don't care how good your first impression is. I don't care how good your relationship with the person is. I don't care how well you understand the customer's needs. If you don't have control of the direction of the conversation, it's all going to count for precisely zero. Does everyone understand that?
Mm.
That if someone can lead you out into the desert when you're trying to stay in the forest, right? It's not going to make it, you're not going to be able to get anywhere you want to go, right? That was a terrible analogy, but you understand what I'm saying. My point is that you need to be able to control the conversation. So if you're going to control the direction of a conversation and get towards understanding this person's needs and wants, get towards, you know, being able to know what to offer them and get towards being able to offer them the right product or service, right? And I'll give you an example of this really quickly, is that if you don't, an example is if I was in a vacuum store, right, at Godfrey's, right? Since he mentions Godfrey's, I'll bring it up. I'll talk about Godfrey's. So if I'm in a vacuum store and I let the customer control my conversation, they come in and I say, what are you after? Right? I wouldn't say that first up, but let's pretend I do. I say, what are you after? And they say, oh, I'm just after a vacuum. And I go, fantastic. Right? And then I go, all right. And what sort of vacuum are you after? Oh, I saw this one on TV. And I go, great, let's have a look at it. And then we go over, we start having a look at the vacuum cleaner. And halfway through me explaining that vacuum cleaner, they go, oh, what about that one over there? Right? And then I'm like, and I put it down. I go, all right, let's go have a look at that one. And they go, what about this one over there? And they just start marching me around the store because they start asking me questions and start asking me about this one and that one. Am I ever going to get to the end of the sale and be able to sell them something that's good for them? Or am I just walking around and letting someone with a low knowledge base tell me or see what they think looks pretty to their eye? What am I doing? I'm not going to achieve anything. So my job here is to ask valuable questions, because if I ask questions, then finally I can have control of the conversation, because it's the questions that are directing that conversation. So therefore it's my job to ask questions. Does that make sense to everyone? So the better you are at asking questions, or I've got lots of people in the chat and I can't see it. Hang on, guys. Sorry guys, I'm just pulling your chat up. So here's the thing. How do we do that? Well, I have a system called multi-line questioning. Multi-line questioning is very simple. I say that there are 6 major problems in any industry. There's always going to be 6 major problems. 6 problems that are just so common, right? That if you had one of that 99.99999999999 to the nth degree customers is going to have one of these 6 problems. And if you happen to come across that one person that has some random rare problem you've never thought of, deal with it when you get there. But the first thing you need to know is you need to understand, what are my 6 major problems in my industry? Now, once I understand that, then I can craft a set of questions that targets those 6 major core problems. So I can have 10 or 15 questions that you might have 2 or 3 that target one problem, 2 or 3 that target another problem, 2 or 3 that target a third problem. And so as you go down the list of questions, you are finding all these core problems that you know that you can solve, because that's why you're doing what you're doing, right? So how do we do that? Simple. The first thing we need to do, and I say to everyone, is write a list of 10 to 15 base level questions. Now, a base level question is a really open-ended question, right? Really open-ended question that basically, if let's say, to keep it simple, to keep it on vacuum cleaners, if you were buying a product, if you're buying a vacuum cleaner, you might come in, I'll say, what do I need? What can I do for you? That is easily a base question, but a real base question is, okay, so what sort of area are you dealing with? And then you're going to tell me, what is going on there? Can everyone see those green arrows on the screen? That is random. That is, I did not put those green arrows on the screen, and they are not.
No, the computers are doing funny things, Andrew, tonight.
Yeah, I didn't put those there. They're actually not on my PowerPoint. I don't know why they're there. That's weird.
Yeah, probably using whiteboard. So the whiteboard on Zoom is triggered somehow.
No, it's gone. They're gone away now. That's random. Anyway, point is, so base level questions. So now what you're going to do is you're going to write, so when I ask what sort of area you're dealing with, you're going to give me this big answer about your house and what type of floors you're dealing with and whether it's carpet or hard floor and all that sort of stuff. Now from there, because I've asked a base really open question, I can then ask you an expansion question, right? I can expand on that. I can go a bit deeper down that same pathway. Now, meanwhile, remember, I'm asking a base question that's actively targeting a problem. I know that I've pre-written, not the expansion questions. Nick, someone is drawing on this. Is that you, Adrian? Someone is drawing on the screen. That's like Leslie or somebody's, like, someone's doing something.
Hey man, I'm just taking notes, mate. I'm taking notes on everything you're saying. Not me.
Someone's drawing on the screen. Matt, Nick, can you do a check if you've got someone dodgy in your thing, mate?
Doing that?
I put both of my hands up right away because I knew you were going to accuse me.
Saw the 2 eyes and a mouth pop up, right?
Yes.
That wasn't just me. That was weird. Anyway, point is that, you know, so you got an expansion question, and that expansion question, the whole purpose of it is to dig further towards that problem. So I might say, so what sort of area are you trying to clean? They go, oh, I've got a 3-bedroom house and, you know, with carpet upstairs and hard floors down. So I go, great. No, they go, I've got a 3-bedroom house with kids and a dog, whatever. And I say, okay, what's the breakdown of carpet and hard floors in your house? And they go, oh, it's, you know, carpet upstairs and hard floors downstairs. And I go, great, that's an expansion question. Then I might expand again, right? And I go, all right, and so what's harder to clean, the carpet or the hard floors? And they go, carpet. I hate cleaning the carpet. And then I'm like, great. Now I can ask them a yes question because I found a problem. They hate cleaning the carpet. So, okay, so you hate cleaning the carpet. So what you really want is something to clean the carpet for you then, don't you? Yes. Right? And they say yes. And they lock in that they have this problem all of a sudden. Now, obviously it sounds really fake when I do it on, you know, on a Zoom call, but you get my drift. The whole idea is you're getting them to lock in that they have this problem. They say yes and they commit. They validate that they have problem 1, this major problem that you can solve. And that relates them back into your package or your process or your program or your product, right? So that's problem. That's how we find the problem. Here's the key, right? How do we ask a yes question? Did anyone notice how I did that really quickly? It's the most simple process. Create a statement and then put don't you, wasn't it, doesn't it, isn't it on the end. It is just a statement with people are drawing on the screen. Nick. There's something going on, mate. There's something creepy happening, right? So people are putting, so if you say, I've lost my train of thought now. So if you say something like, you know, the sky is black, isn't it? Right? It's a statement with a follow-up on the back end to get them to validate that what you're saying is correct. That's it. Right? That's a yes question. So now you've found a problem. Now that you've found a problem, you're set. You've got one problem. But what if you could then do that because you've asked, you know, 3 or 4 questions? But here's the thing, right? People are asking 4, 5, or 6 questions when they're trying to sell a multi-thousand-dollar product, or they're trying to sell $30,000 websites or whatever it is, right? Here's the thing, that's not enough. You've asked 3 or 4 questions there and got to one problem. That doesn't solve shit for me. You don't know enough to recommend. Is that you, Nick?
No, it's not me. I don't know how that's happening.
Oh my God, I just got muted. What is going on?
That was me that accidentally muted you, but
okay.
I didn't draw. Someone's drawing in your screen. I don't know how that's happening.
That is ridiculous.
If you go to view options and annotate, you can annotate. I just tried it then. I just drew that one, but I haven't been doing the other ones.
Oh, so someone's annotating. Someone's being cheeky. I think they're funny. Good on them. All right. Anyway, we'll keep moving. So here's the thing. So this is actually funny. If you are drawing on the screen, draw something funny. That would be more cool. At least something that makes everyone laugh. All right, cool. So someone's going to draw a penis on the screen now or something stupid like that. So here's what we do. So now we've got a problem. So our next job is to then do it again and again and again. And you want to find 4, 5, 6 questions. Yeah, this might take you 20 minutes, 30 minutes just to ask questions, right? To find out exactly what their problem is. What do they need? What are they trying to, what can you do for them? But here's the thing. If you have this much valuable information and this many amazing problems, right, that you can solve for your clients, what's the likelihood when you give them a recommendation that they're going to buy? Anyone? Pretty high, yeah? Right? Of course it is. Because now you've solved a bunch of problems for them. So step 1 to a 6-figure sales game or a 6-figure sales problem is ask the right questions, understand how to ask questions, write the right questions. It's really powerful, it makes a difference. Now, the next thing is you need to have a solid message when you're in a sales process. Now, my favorite thing that people do is they have this message that is a two-line statement. It's this 2-line statement that somehow they think is just going to work if they say, here's my elevator pitch, right? That's not what a message is. A message is literally how you talk about everything that you talk about. So there are 3 elements to a really powerful message. You first need to know why you do what you do. And you got to tell everybody. Everyone needs to know why you do what you do. That it doesn't matter whether it's Zoom bombing is actually a thing. Yeah, it totally is a thing. Thanks, Adrian. So, you need to know why you do what you do. If you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, right? If you don't know, and you can't tell anybody else, then there's no way for them to truly connect with what you're doing. There's no way for them to truly connect with why they should buy your product or service. For instance, Martin, you sell cycling gear. If you want to sell cycling gear, then I need to know why I should buy it from you. And if I want to know and it being good quality, that's not enough, right? Because if it was just good quality, people, there'd be a hell of a lot of phones like Oppo that sell more than Apple, because Oppo makes good quality phones. They're not terrible phones. They're perfectly fine. They function just as well, right? They may not be just as good as Apple, but they're pretty damn good. But Apple has 55% of the market share. Why? Because people buy into their message, right? Particularly laptops. Apple laptops, people buy them left, right, and center. They love them. But here's the thing, right? Every other laptop out there is just as fucking good. The only difference is that people buy into the think differently message, right? They buy into why Apple does it, right? Whereas Dell makes laptops. Fucking congratulations, right? They make laptops. It's fantastic. Apple makes happiness, right? They make you think differently. They build success, right? So you got to know that, right? So why do you do it?
Are you putting me on the spot now, Andrew?
No. It has nothing to do with you. I'm laughing at this. It had nothing to do with you. I was laughing at someone drew a face on the screen and then the thing there. That was hilarious. Good on you. Okay, so how do we know why we do it? So why did you start it? What did you start for? And what do you want? I'm going to start moving here because otherwise Nick's going to kick me off because it's 7 o'clock. Am I still got time, Nick, or am I like overtime here? We're good? Nick, no one can hear you.
Yes.
Still can't hear you, mate. All right, I'm going to continue. So why did you start? What did you do it for? And what do you want? What do you want out of it? So why are you doing this, right? The next thing is, what are you trying to change, right? So what in the world are you trying to change, or what in, not in just the world, but what in your particular industry? Because there is no one in the history of ever that has gotten into an industry or gotten into something that didn't want to change something in that industry. No one, right? You didn't become a life coach, Leslie, because you thought, you know what? People are life coaching perfectly. I don't need to do this. People are great. Everyone, this industry is perfect. It doesn't need me, but I'm going to do it anyway. That's not what happened, right? You know, Martin, you didn't look at all the cycling gear out there and go, you know what? It is all perfect quality. They don't need any extra, but I'm going to do it anyway. No one does that, right? You had something. You saw issues. You capitalized on them, right? So who are you trying to help specifically? Man, this one's a big one. I laugh. I mean, sometimes I say to people, so who do you help? And they go, everybody. And I go, oh. I'm like, no, you don't. right? Because not everybody in the world has the same problems, right? You have people that you are trying to help specifically. So I feel like it might be Roberto Vargo, whoever that is, because he just posted MNJIPKO FWO equals 1. Well done, Roberto. We all think you're awesome. Anyway, so what are you trying to change? So what issues did you see and who are you helping? Really, really important, right? And when I say who are you helping, make sure you know specifically who you're helping. Remember when I said before to really don't hold back, nail it, go mental, right? Here's the thing. If you're going to nail it, if you're going to go mental, if you're going to go full bull for the client you want. Go full bull for the person you want to help. Who did you originally get into this for? Don't get sucked into the vortex of bullshit and the vortex of someone else telling you how to live your dream. Who are you trying to help? The amount of people that got into this to help certain people in the industry change something in the industry, and then people say, you can't do that. If you help just that person, you're going to be in trouble. That doesn't work. You got to know who you're targeting. Who are you trying to do this for? Here's the thing. I have been approached by multinational corporations to help them with their sales, and I've said no every time. Why? Because it's not just about the money for me. I got in, if I wanted to earn, high six-figure salaries in a heartbeat, I could go and work for someone. That's not hard, right? For me, what I want to do is I want to help small businesses to succeed. Literally, my why is written over there, and it says to spread joy and happiness to the world by empowering entrepreneurs to succeed and live happy lives. That's what I want to do. That's who I'm here for. And I don't give a shit if it takes me 10 years to make it happen. I'm going to do it that way. I'm not going to go and work for some giant corporation just because they've got lots of money. It's not what it's about for me, right? So who are you trying to help? But in saying that, that's what's built my success extremely quickly, is knowing who I want to help. Now, and then you need to know what's their outcome. See, the biggest problem with your message, with almost every message, is that you give a shit about your outcome. You know what your outcome from it is. You don't know what their outcome is, right? I remember when I was working with Diane, actually, we came up with this amazing saying that was, you can't take your bed, but you can take your pillow, right? Because that saying is not about our outcome. It's about their outcome, right? Because, people don't want to take their pillow traveling because they look awkward. But if you can make it less awkward for them and realize that they can take it and not look awkward, they're like, maybe I will take my pillow because it's more comfortable. But suddenly that gets things changing. It's about their outcome, not yours. You're welcome, Kylie. You're very welcome. All right. And then lastly, it's what do you believe? This is my personal favorite part of anyone's message. And the person who did this the best that I've ever seen was Leslie. It was the funniest thing I ever said. When I met Leslie for the first time, I said to her, what do you do? And every single person that says that they're some kind of life coach does this. They go, I'm a life coach and I specifically work with trauma, or I specifically work with this, or I'm this life coach, I'm that, I'm an energetic healer and a life coach and all these things. And I said to Leslie, I said, what do you do? And she said, I'm a life coach. I said, great. And I said, anything specific? And she's like, no, a life coach. I'm like, why? And she's like, because I coach people how to better themselves in their lives. I'm not specifically going to ignore someone that's struggling just because, it's not my particular tiny little micro niche, right? And that was one of her beliefs in the industry. And because of that, it's what do you agree with is the first thing. So it does say, what do you agree with? Nick, this is fucking fantastic. Oh, jeez. Everyone can see that, right? I'm not the only one that finds this. All right, cool. All right, anyway, so what do you agree with? So first you need to know what you agree with in the industry. So what in this industry do you really care about? You're like, you know what, this is right. This is kicking some ass. I love this. What then outside of that, you can't see it, but it says, what do you not? And this is the more powerful one. When I got on here, does anyone remember the first thing I said about what you need in your business to start with? I said, you don't need a good website and you don't need a good brand. Do you know how many experts or how many people would shoot me in the face for saying that? But the truth is you don't. The truth is what you need when you start is they don't sell your business. You sell your shit. That's on you, right? So to build 6 figures, to start the business, you need to look legit somehow. So maybe have a website somewhere or have some kind of logo and maybe a crappy business card. That's fine, right? But you need to know, right? You need to be the one to sell it. So what this comes down to is your belief systems. So what do you believe in the industry? What's going to make the difference for you? So I say to everyone, I want you to write down 9 or 10 beliefs that you believe about your industry. Just 9 or 10, right? Like for me, one of my major beliefs in my industry is that everyone, yeah, I can tell you what those points say. Those points say, what do you agree with? What do you not agree with? Right. And the third one for everyone, I think this guy wants me to be really angry at him, but I just find it actually quite hilarious if I'm really honest about it. And the third one is, give me a sec, is what are your 4 core beliefs? So I say write down 9 or 10 beliefs, right? 9 or 10 true beliefs in your industry, right? But then you need to narrow that down to 4 core beliefs. So one of my core beliefs is if I hear another fucking person in marketing or not marketing particularly, but another expert say, stop selling and start serving, or you don't need to sell, or you need to sell without selling, I'm going to slap someone. It's ridiculous. It doesn't help any business owners and it makes no sense. To be able to serve someone, you need to sell. Right? So you sell to them so that you can serve and make an impact. Right? So that's one of my major beliefs, one of my core beliefs. And every time I hear someone say that, I have stood in front of an expert that literally said that in front of me. And I was like, nope, that's wrong. And they were like, you can't say that's wrong. And I'm like, I absolutely can say that's wrong because I don't believe it. Right? And you need to stick to your core beliefs. Like they are your absolute glue. And you share that with everyone because here's the thing, that is what's going to polarize people. That's what's going to make that guy rubbing the red stuff out go, oh, no, I don't want anyone to see this message. But other people go, you know what, that is the best message. That's exactly what it is, right? That's exactly what I need. So you need to own those beliefs. You need to own it with everything you have. You need to deliver it with everything you have, okay? So they're the 3 core elements. Why do you do it? What are you trying to change? And what do you believe? Cool? All right, let me go here and now this is the fucking red dot. Okay, so the next thing is in your business is you need to gain absolute clarity, right? So absolute clarity over your business, right? Now what absolute clarity does, check this out. Ready guys? Watch this shit. Hang on, I'm gonna do something really cool here. I wonder if this will work actually. Watch this. Stop share and hang on. All right, so you need to gain clarity, and to gain clarity, I can't see you guys now. There you are. So you need to gain clarity. Now, can everyone see the screen now? Cool. Oh, you can't see the screen. All right, let me screen share. Sorry, I haven't done it. There we go. Can we all see it now?
Yes, indeed.
Sweet. All right. So the next thing you need to do is gain clarity. To gain clarity, what you need is you need to sit down and truly understand your business. Now, this is the part where I talk about knowing what you are saying in a sale, right? So now you understand how to ask questions. You understand your message, but you need to know what to say. Right? Who gets into a sale sometimes and goes, I have no idea what to say. Like I cannot physically come up with, like, they're like, you sit there and you're struggling, you know, they throw you a curveball and you're like, oh, I don't know what, you know, who sits there and thinks that, or thinks maybe, you know, this person thinks I sound like an idiot. How do I make them really want to buy my product? How do I sound better in this sale, right? Simple. You don't need some big script. You don't need someone to write a script for you. What you need is you need clarity over what it is that you do. And to gain that clarity is actually easier than you think. You need to sit down and write it out and really unpack what it is you do, what it is people want, and what it is you teach them, or the outcome you're trying to get for them. And all of it, completely unpack it. Because if you don't know that, then you cannot possibly teach that to anybody else, right? Okay, we've got a chat here. What did someone say? What is different about your product? Absolutely. You need to know what's different about your product, definitely. All right. Now, so you need to gain clarity over your stuff. Then you need to own your business, right? And everyone's like, but I do own my business. That's not the kind of own I'm talking about. You need to literally, when you walk in a room, you need to own your shit so powerfully that everybody thinks, you know what, mate? This guy has it. This guy is super, not just confident in what he's selling, but he's confident and he has conviction, or she has conviction in what she's telling me is true. You know, everyone gets really, really, really good in this day and age, has gotten really, really good at, what's the word for this? They've gotten really good at selling themselves, being liked, connecting to other people. But then when you walk into a sale, the biggest lacks in sales that I see today is, next to questions, is people selling what I call the boring party. So they get to their product, right? And a few of you have heard this, but I love this story, so I say it all the time. You get to the product and you're trying to sell the product. And the way you sell your product is like saying, he's pretending you're sitting at home and Nick calls you. Nick Cree calls you, right? And he goes, "Hi mate, my grandma is having a party at the nursing home and I need to go there and I'm going to be bored. Can you come with me?" And you're his mate, so you're like, "Yeah, sure." Now, 10 minutes later, Andrew calls you and he's a Greek guy, right? That's me. And he goes, "Hey, what are you doing?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm just sitting at home." And I'm like, "Hey, Fred, my grandma's having a party. We're going to drink ouzo. We're going to do Greek dancing. We're going to smash some plates, eat some amazing Greek food. There's going to be music. It's going to be fantastic. You want to come?" And you're like, "Fuck, Nick, I'm going to this guy's party." Right? Why? Because it's more fun. It's more interesting. I delivered value. It's going to give you something. Right? But here's the thing. If you walk into a sale and you say, "Oh yeah, my product's great. And what it's going to do for you is give you some, it's going to make you feel, it's going to, you know, probably do something for you. And I think it's the right thing for you." I'm not buying that. Right? You need to own your shit. You need to say, "No, this is amazing. No, I can help you. No, I can give you something that no one else can give you." Because I have spent, for me particularly, right, I've spent 15 years of my life learning how to sell and understand sales better than anyone out there. And I know that when people work with me, they get results. I'm not 90% sure, I'm 100% sure. And I own that shit every time I walk in. And that's why my conversion rate is like 87%, right? Because I own it. You know, and I guarantee you everyone on this in here has some business, has something that is amazing. And they are amazing at what they do. And it is your job to tell people that. It's not your job to sit there and go, "Oh no, please don't make me look like a salesperson. So, you know, I'm just going to tell you that it's okay." Okay doesn't give me the certainty to spend the money. Okay doesn't give me the certainty to buy. This shit is the best. That gives me the certainty to buy. Right? Own your business. Okay, so the last one is, how do we close a sale? Right? How do we close a sale? First things first, let me make this clear. When you've made a recommendation, right? Obviously, I can't go through the entire process tonight, but when you've made a recommendation, right, you've already covered the price. If you are trying to close the sale and at the same time tell the price, I'm telling you right now, you're in the wrong phase, right? When you are closing, your job is for them to know the price, them to know how you can solve their problem. And now your job is to just with confidence, conviction, say, "Hey, dude, buy my shit," right? Here's the thing. This is the hardest part of a sale for almost everybody out there. Everyone freaks out about closing. They think it's so bloody hard. But you know what? You've just spent the last hour with this person, cultivating a beautiful relationship with them, then analyzing their problems, then solving their, hang on a second, guys. Solving their needs, right? So you've cultivated a beautiful relationship. You've solved you've analyzed their problems. You've then solved those problems for them. You've done all this wonderful stuff. And then right at the end, you can't just say, how about we sort that out? It's one bloody line, right? And so the way we close is one line. It's like probably more like 3 or 4 lines. We keep it short and simple, right? That's step 1. Keep it short and simple, right? Make it a win-win. How do we make it a win-win? You go, you know what? This is going to cost you X, right? But on the flip side, I'm also solving problem X, problem Y, and problem Z, which is then going to make it completely worth your worth your investment. It'll give you a massive return on investment. So with confidence, conviction, how about we just sort that out? Well, this is the right thing for you. Let's do that. Right? It's nice and simple. Keep it short and simple. It's 3 or 4 lines. Don't get into semantics about it. Just go, guys, just pick the moment and say, you know what? That's the price. That's the,
Hey, Andrew, I think it's just check at the bottom of your screen, see if you've got annotation tools turned on.
I'm not touching my stuff. It can't...
No, but if you've got annotation tools turned on, it means other people can access it too.
You mean on my actual thing?
Yeah.
Security. Rename them, so annotate, unshared content. There we go. I took it off. You're right. I could do that. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, there we go. It's off now. Let me stop share. I didn't know that was the thing.
Excellent. Oh, well, the Zoom bomber can go home now.
Yeah, exactly. Screen. Thank you, Nick. That's actually saved it. So, guys, we didn't have to put up with that the whole way through. I just ruined it all.
That's right. I've just spent half an hour researching why is this happening.
So you didn't know either.
I didn't either.
Did anyone else know that, or like? All right. Anyway, so keep it short and sweet. Make it a win-win situation. Here's the thing, guys. Right? If you try and make it that you're losing and they're winning, which a lot of people do when they're closing, it actually makes the customer feel uncomfortable and they're not going to buy. They're less likely to buy. You need to make it that you're winning and they're winning. Right? Now, there are some people that are going to love that they win and you lose, right? But the majority of people are genuinely pretty nice and they're going to be like, hey, dude, listen, right? They're going to feel uncomfortable. Your job is to generate a win-win so there's no discomfort either way, right? They need to know, all right, this makes sense. Now, here's the other key. If it's lose-win, if it's lose, so you lose and they win, right? What's the other thing that they're going to think? This is too good to be true. And so then they won't buy. It needs to be win-win. There's only one place in the world that win-lose works, and that's on the sporting field. Right now, I did say winning is that sales is like a sport, but it's not that closely related. Right? It's win-win. Right? If you generate a win-win scenario and you say it with confidence and conviction, it'll make a massive difference. So before we wrap up, what's the difference between confidence and conviction? Anybody? Well, actually, what's confidence? Someone. From a sales point of view. Nobody? Jenny, what do you reckon? I'm calling people out.
Conviction is a real belief, whereas confidence is like a bit more fluffy.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Well, how about you, Leslie? What do you reckon confidence is?
I'd say confidence is how you communicate a conviction.
I
Perhaps.
like that.
Yeah. So like what Jenny was saying about that belief that you've got, but then confidence is how convincing you are in your expression of that.
Okay, cool. Well, we got chat here. Confidence is knowing your product. Okay. Confidence, there it is. And you've totally heard me say that before. Right. Confidence is steadfastness of character. It is self-belief, right? From a sales point of view, confidence is self-belief, right? Conviction is absolute belief in what you are selling or doing for them is true. It's absolute belief, right? Not in you, but in what? In what you're doing, in what you're selling, right? But confidence is absolute belief in yourself. So if I say something with confidence, I can say it without conviction. I can say, yep, this is probably maybe the right product for you. Likely it's going to be the right thing for you. Cool, right? No conviction, but a hell of a lot of confidence, right? But if I say it with conviction, I can say, hey, this is definitely the right thing for you. You should do this, right? Confidence and conviction. Absolute belief in yourself, absolute belief in what you're selling them. You need both. Right? Keep it short and simple, make it a win-win, and have confidence and conviction. Guys, you do those 4 things. Close correctly. Right? You close correctly. You gain clarity and you own your shit. Right? You own your business. You have 3 elements to a powerful message. Going back. Right? And you have, and particularly more important than anything, you start with multi-line questioning, you learn to question correctly, and you own that shit, right? I promise you, you'll be able to create a 6-figure or 7-figure business pretty easily, particularly if you have a great brand, great website, and right, you have all your online tools in place, which is what I'm doing for my business now, right? So 6-figure businesses are easy, from a sales point of view. 7-figure businesses is where Nick, that guy over there, comes in. He takes your business to the next level. So guys, thanks heaps for jumping on tonight. Thanks heaps for listening to me. Yeah, that was great. Thanks heaps.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Andrew. And I have to admire the fact that you were sort of calm, collected, and laughed at all the Zoom bombing that was happening here. So, don't know if someone was just having fun, but it was a random in here. But I suspect there could be a random in here.
It was.
Random person.
I reckon it was Leslie. She did say she was going to heckle me the whole way through.
I said I was going to quietly heckle you, and that's dumb. I would have drawn funny stuff. You know that.
Oh, jeez. I'm just joking.
All right, has anyone got any questions at the moment that they would like to ask? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question.
Is it okay if I ask one?
Sure, go ahead.
As long as you weren't the bomber.
I thought it was hilarious. I'm going, how can
I was giggling. I think I think I was the worst person to Zoom bomb because everyone else would get pissed off, but I just thought it was hilarious.
Well, I was starting to get a little annoyed with him, and I'm going, how can we get rid of this little son of a bitch? But anyway, Andrew, so good. Thanks so much.
Bring his mama into it.
With social distancing, do you find it any different now with, getting your message across and doing sales via video is any different to face-to-face?
No, for me it hasn't been. And actually for all my clients, it's been the same. We talked about that and we went through a bit of mindset shifting on it. The truth is that it's the connection. I get the whole energy feel that you can have when you're in the room with someone, but as long as you can actively try and get people onto a Zoom meeting, right? Get face to face with them so they can see your face, they can see your facial expressions, you can genuinely connect. I generally try to make it as real as possible by, if it's going to be a coffee meeting, right? They say, let's meet for coffee, then have a coffee, right? This is my little espresso cup, right? Have a coffee there, right? So, but the other thing is because you're in a room, that's exactly right, Jenny, right? There's not as many distractions. They're actually a hell of a lot more focused. There's a hell of a lot more connection, I find. People are so willing to connect now. They want to connect. They're desperate for it that you actually end up getting more of a connection. And I told my clients that, and the second I told them that, they've all boomed personally. So I actually find, just jump on it, Stephen. Just hit Zoom, just hit the go button and just get everyone on Zoom meetings as much as you can.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Awesome. Jenny says, really useful. Thanks so much. People are really concentrating on what you're saying When you face the video, not so many distractions. When you're face to face on video, so not so many distractions. So, yeah.
Yep. Any other questions from anyone? Thank you.
One follow up. I know we were talking about the sale, but in terms of sourcing leads, are you finding that LinkedIn is a better B2B or Facebook?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. I love this question. Neither is my answer to that. And the reason I say neither is because Facebook will give you a different type of lead than LinkedIn, but they are both extremely powerful B2B options. Yeah, extremely powerful. But it depends on who you're going for. I'm telling you right now, if you're going for a high-end, massive corporate guy, let's say you want to chase a CEO down, right? He ain't on Facebook. Actually, you know what? He probably is on Facebook, but he's on Facebook on a personal level. There is he's sharing his message on Facebook, and yeah, he has lots of friends, but he's not there. You're probably not going to end up doing business with him. If you connect with him on LinkedIn, he'll look at you as more of a business person to look at. That CEO is going to talk to coaches or talk to, buy products on Facebook and things like that. But do not rule out, that's just a probably, right? Do not rule out, I connected with the owner of the coffee club, and now we're doing some work together, right? But I connected with him on Facebook, right? So I wouldn't rule out Facebook at all. It actually I don't even think it depends on your business, Ange. I think it's the other way around. I think LinkedIn is dependent. Facebook has everybody, right? LinkedIn is more dependent. There are some people that are on that aren't on LinkedIn, but there's no one that's not on Facebook, right? Facebook has bloody everyone, right? LinkedIn just gives you a more structured forum and a more business forum. So when you're talking business on there, you can actually be a hell of a lot more business orientated and not bore people. That's what they're there for. Does that make sense by chance?
Yep, sure does. Thanks.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're sort of getting towards the end of the evening now. So let's stop sharing the screen, but we have already. We are at the point of the evening where we have a prize draw. So I believe Andrew is reaching into his pocket to offer up a prize tonight. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't remember what it is. I hope that you do. I gave it to you a while ago. But I did have something for everyone, actually, if you don't mind, Nick.
Yes.
You didn't fix that by chance, did you?
I did.
You're a legend. All right, Nick's just put a link in the chat box down below. I run a what I call my sales process masterclass. Now, there are people on this call that have actually done this, but they did it one-on-one, right? But the thing is I run this as a group, this masterclass. So basically what it is I deliver and build, I help you build in a 2-day masterclass your entire sales process. Now, this course is usually worth $2,000, and I, for some freaking reason, during the COVID period, decided that I was going to give it away for free. So there's a few spots left in that. So what I thought is I'd get on here tonight it is short notice, so I apologize to anyone. There's a couple spots left. This thing is one of the most powerful courses that almost everyone reckons they've done. So, and it literally will clarify your business later, own your business. It gives you all of those things we talked about. You'll write all of your base questions. You'll figure out your closes. You'll do all those things, right? It's happening this Thursday and Friday from 9 a.m. to 5:30, and it's free. And I've never done it free before. It's a $2,000 course. I'm not holding back. I'm not giving you something like I'm just going to do it the way I did it for everybody else, right? The only difference is it's free this time. So if you want to come along, anyone who's on this call, I'm holding spaces exclusively for anyone on this call if you want to come along to that. So all you got to do is copy and paste the link, register, and maybe tell everyone else that you're doing it, and then they'll do it.
I did it.
Cheap effect, right? Right.
And I'm doing it again.
What did you say?
Said I did it and I'm doing it again.
No, if I gave it to you again, you'd do it again, right? So,
Yep.
Yeah, guys, come along Thursday and Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30. If you're not doing anything, which you all probably are, but this will be the thing that takes your business to the next level. So it's really worth doing. Nick's done it like 3 times now.
I've done it.
I'm a bit slow. I've got to keep doing it.
I'm with you, Nick.
What did you say?
I'm with Nick.
All right, so I'm giving that to everyone for free, but I believe my prize was, Nick, I have no idea.
Actually, I can't find it either. Make one up on the spot. No pressure.
All right. All right, what I'll do is I will do it this way. I'll say, instead of doing a draw, Nick, does it need to be a draw, or can I go first in, first served?
Well, we do have the wheel up at the moment.
Okay, fine. Right, we'll draw. I'll give away 3. Who wants? Put your hand up if you want. If you'd like a 1-hour session, a half an hour session with me, strategy-based session to help you increase your sales. Chuck your hand up and wave frantically. All right, cool. Yep. All right, let's do that. I'll give away 2 of those, Nick.
2 of those. All right. So we have a magical process for doing this. And by the way, those that win it, it will literally change the sales process. It did for me. I was a pretty good salesperson, what I thought I was, and then I met Andrew. And but it's well worth it.
Well, I'm just going to start blushing.
Yeah. So we have our magical, this is an app that wasn't in our official apps, but this is a app that is called Wheel of Names. So if you go to wheelofnames.com, it's for doing online draws. And all we do is in the right-hand side, we just enter all the names in of people that were here. You can do things like shuffle and sort them as well. So remember, you have to be here to win. If you've disappeared already, you can't win. So it's only available for people.
Well, mate, if they've disappeared, they won't know that you just said that.
I know, but someone's got to post it on Facebook. You know what it's like. All right, let's spin the wheel. We'll tap it in the center. Roberto, is he here?
Didn't we come up with that was the guy that was being the thingo?
Well, I won.
It's me. I am here. No, the screen went black, so I tried to reactivate it before.
Was it? You weren't the hacker. We all thought you were the hacker, Roberto.
I wouldn't mind. I would have good skills. I will learn that eventually one day. No worries.
I think I might have tracked the hacker down because there was a weird registration that came through with one of those weird Gmail addresses. So I don't think he's here anymore. But anyway, Roberto, you are the lucky winner of that prize there.
Sounds good. Great.
So maybe if you just pop your details into chat to me or to Andrew.
Chat, Roberto, and I'll send you a message. I'll send you an email with a link, and you just need to book in on that link.
Okay. So should I just put my email there in the chat, or should I?
Email address is fine.
Yep. Sounds good.
And you've got one more too, have you, Andrew?
Yep, one more to give away.
All right. Well, let's spin the wheel again. And John Mullis. Is John still on the call? Looking. Looks like John has disappeared, so that would be a redraw.
Yeah, Kylie's feeling lucky.
Ange Dion.
No.
I'll give mine to Kylie.
You're giving yours to Kylie. That is very generous of you.
You manifested that, Kylie. Andrew's already. Andrew's already my client, so that makes it a little bit unfair. She'd be like, "Are we going to have another meeting this week?"
You're welcome, Kylie.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Excellent. All right, so that's it for tonight. Let me just bring up the final screen here. Oh, the other one is Business Owners Smash It Online. If you want to come and join the membership site there, free for the first month, $27 on afterwards. This is our introductory offer before it goes up to $47. Go and join it. Check it out. If you go to posbiz.in/join, You can join for free. Now, what's in there is if you have a WordPress site, there are a heap of video tutorials for WordPress. The videos from these presentations will go inside that site as well. So at any time there you want to go and check them out, that's where they'll be. So we'll have. So we're just loading up about 2 years worth of presentations going into there, and we've got sort of Q&A sessions and all sorts of other stuff coming soon. So go and join and check that out. The next meetup is next Tuesday, which would be the 19th of May, again from 6 to 7:30. And so just join on Facebook. Make sure you're part of the Business Owners Smashing It Online Facebook group. We'll announce it there. And otherwise, if you just want to book in anyway, just go to posbiz.in, posbiz.in/Bozio, which stands for Business Owners Smashing It Online. And you can register right now so you're locked in for next week.
Hey, Nick.
Yes.
Can I just say, because I put it up there and I'm really proud of it. So if anyone can't see and anyone actually loved that presentation, maybe wants the slideshow or just wants to get in contact and have a chat about how I can possibly help you, see that email right there? Right? Am I pointing at the email? I can't see.
I can't see what you're pointing at.
Can I see? It's nice and small. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Yeah, just email me at andrew@surgesolutions.com.au. We can get in touch and have a chat how we can take your business forward. Right? I'll put it in the chat, actually.
That's a great idea. All right. Excellent. Well, look, thanks very much, everyone, for coming along tonight. It is a Tuesday night and set us up for a fantastic week. Go out and make some sales, and hopefully, well, we'll go and use some of that information that Andrew shared. And highly recommend, if you haven't done so already, just go and join up to his free course that he's running worth $2,000. It's well worth it. I should have waited till now to do it, but I did it last year. So.
Yeah, everyone who has done it is thinking the same thing. They're like, screw you, dude.
All right, we're going to have a good evening. Go and have a good week, and we'll see you back here next Tuesday. Thank you for tuning in and listening to the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast. You can also find me on social media and online. Just search for Business Owners Smashing It Online and Nick Cree, spelled Nickcree, all one word. If you like this and want to hear more, subscribe now. Until next time, don't be a slave to your business. Get your business working for you.